Hello everyone, it is Pat with our Oracle card reading and messages for this coming week. A little bit late getting started this week, but not as late as last week. So anyways, today is Tuesday the 13th, I'm sorry, when I'm taping this. So anyways, for this week's reading, of course I'm calling upon the Archangel Oracle cards. I decided to call upon the Saints and Angels. I felt guided to that this week. But also the Akashic Tarot that I like to call upon every once in a while. So let's see what's going on. The Archangel who's overseeing us this week is the Archangel Zadkiel, with this message of compassion. Oh, and my little kitty angel is going to get in the... she's going to join us for the reading, okay? So anyways, the message on the card says, soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So the feeling I get from this is there's some situation that you are either dealing with, involved with, some situation going on around you, or that may be going on around you, where it's causing a lot of self-judgment to come up. So either self-judgment or judgment of other people might be stirring up a lot for you. So Zadkiel's message says, soften your heart. So be willing to forgive yourself and be compassionate towards yourself with whatever the situation is that you're dealing with. Be willing to forgive yourself. Even though it may be a situation that you realize that, okay, you should have done something about it sooner, or, a lot of it is the result of your own, doing something or not doing something, what have you. But Zadkiel is urging you to be compassionate with yourself. That helps you to be compassionate, ultimately, with other people too. But so he's saying, soften your heart with it. If there's a situation, I get a sense of stop blaming yourself for somebody out there, because that doesn't help you or anybody. And do your best in the situation to be able to forgive yourself and deal with it as best you can. Okay. All right, so that's I keep wanting to say Uriel, so maybe Uriel's with us too. Zadkiel is an angel of mercy. He does help to, energetically clear out your heart and lift heavy burdens from it. I heard him once referred to as being like a chimney sweep. He kind of gets in there and can clear out residue and heaviness from old relationships or past actions and things like that, to help you to feel lighter. And Zadkiel's one of the angels who, like Uriel, they actually have very similar kinds of things they help people with, in the sense of they help you with memory functions. So if that's one of the things that you're being hard on yourself about, like you can't remember where you put something, or you can't remember what you did with something, or you can't remember a situation that you need to remember about, or you can't remember somebody's name, go easy on yourself, especially because you may be dealing with a lot right now. Okay, so the cards that I've got pulled, they're both kind of addressing personal issues for us, but the Akashic records, I think, are more towards like what's going on in the world. But the Archangel that we picked for the week is overseeing us both on a personal level and in the world at large. Here in the United States, there was the whole thing with the Jeffrey Epstein and the suicide thing, and so there may be more that comes up this week. And we might be hearing more about what's happened to certain victims of his, as well as, other things in the world. There just may be more stuff coming up, okay? So anyways, let's look at what these Saints and Angels cards, the beginning of the week. And what's interesting about, because I pulled these cards out ahead of time before I started the video. And what was interesting is the Saints and Angels cards all came out in twos. Usually I pick like 3 cards, but they all, when they fell out of the deck, or when they stuck out and I pulled them, they all came out together, like with 2 at the same time. So I thought that was interesting. It happened 3 times. So, so at the beginning of the week, again, we get an echo of that compassionate with the message of forgiveness and steady progress. And this one with Saint Teresa of Lisieux, it's a way of, her message in this card is helpful in towards being compassionate with yourself, in the sense of, she's saying, remember how far you've come, you know. She's letting you know that it doesn't do any good to, I'm going to look in the book a little bit for this one, because I like the way it's worded. Appreciate how much you've already accomplished and already achieved. It's a really good practice to, take the time at the end of each day, or maybe at the end of each week, and, acknowledge what you have gotten done, what you have done well. Pause and give yourself that kind of acknowledgement of your achievements for the week. So the beginning of the week is reminding you of how far you've come already, okay? And forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done, all right? That's what the feeling of it is as we, I've started this for today, so it's the energies that we have of the beginning of these cards here. And it's also just maybe about what's been going on. You've been dealing with a situation maybe that is very emotional for you, is very heavy, or is causing you a lot of stress. So they're like, forgive yourself and appreciate the daily progress that you're making with it, okay? Now, right after that, the 2 cards that came out together were peaceful and confidence, okay? So those are really, really positive cards. One, there's a lot more peace coming in, and confidence that you can get through what you need to get through. There's an energy of peace coming in. I feel like a little bit of relief, and a feeling of obviously more confidence around the situations that you're involved in. And Michael's got his sword here held up in the air, okay? And it's always a sword of light. So, what I feel about this card is that as the week progresses, you're going to feel more empowered. You're going to feel stronger and more confident. Part of what Michael's energy is like is that he helps us to move forward in a more confident, courageous, and powerful way. He helps us to feel more confident and strong in ourselves, our decision-making abilities, and that ultimately can lead us to feel more peaceful. And we always feel safer and more peaceful when we feel more confident. So, and what it rolls into after that as we get into the weekend is these 2. Saint Anthony with the "You found it," and the heaven is watching over you. And I feel like this is a reminder that, that if you've been praying for help, they're letting you know that, we were watching out for you. We were helping you behind the scenes, and you found it. You found something of value. Maybe you cleaned out a closet, or cleaned out, if there was some item that you were missing, you finally found it, okay? Saint Anthony is well known for helping people find items, find their possessions. But this can also be about, you found it in the sense of, maybe you found a life path. Maybe you found your purpose that you are, or something you're very passionate about that you really want to commit yourself to. Found a new way of doing something, you found a new friend. Maybe if you were longing for more connection, or that, new soulmate or partner, you found it. Although it says it doesn't say him or her, but the point is, some item or something that's been missing, you found it, okay? You may, if you've been looking around for the next job or the right job or something like that, this card says, hey, you found it. So, and the fact that it came out with the heaven is watching over you. For someone, I feel like this is an apartment or a new place to live, okay? And it's just letting you know that those unseen loving forces, the divinities, the angels, whoever it is that you call upon, they've been looking out for you. They've been helping you behind the scenes, and they are watching over you with whatever it is that you've been looking for, okay? So that's why it's so important to have compassion on yourself. That's why Zadkiel's in with that message of compassion, because things flow more smoothly. If you're really hard on yourself and being judgmental on yourself, it can really block the flow of things, and cause a series of mishaps, or a comedy, or a series of errors, or what have you. Anyways, so let's see what the Akashic Records are telling us. So I think these are more pertinent because when I've used them before, the card is really kind of reflective of things going on in the world. So the first card that we got for this week is Uriel and the Sphinx. Okay, now Uriel is an angel who shines light on things. He's often depicted with a lantern. Okay, now the Sphinx in this, the Sphinx in this represents the whole, kind of like the holder of truth. And so I do feel like that as we get into more this week, it has to do with the uncovering of truths. Okay, I see on a news article today that the FBI went and raided one of Jeffrey Epstein's island mansions. So there's more being unearthed. So it's about, digging up things, because this is the Sphinx and the pyramids. They're an archaeological ruin, which had to at one point have been dug up. So it very much has to do with things getting dug up, uncovered, revealed. Okay, the truths of things. Okay. Getting at, the histories and the truth of what things that took place. Okay, so and Uriel's kind of overseeing that. He's kind of shining the light on it. All right, next we got the chess game, which is very much about social and political conflict. Okay, and disruptions that go on. It's a chess game, which has to do with, power. And in this particular one, there's a queen that's been knocked over and is laying down on the chessboard. Okay, not necessarily entirely captured, but she's been knocked over. Okay, which I think may be interesting into what may be going on. It says deceit is present, and you may not be at all certain about everyone's motives or strategies. Okay, so just between those two cards, I just think there's a lot that's going to come out this week, as far as discoveries and maybe just major events happening in the world, and power shifting. Okay, so and with a queen that's down, I'm wondering if that has to do with at all with the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. So anyway, so we get to the last card that came out. It's the Up in the Air card. Okay, and obviously this card, there's a balloon there that hasn't quite landed. Okay, and so there may be so much from everything that's come out, the truths that are coming out and being revealed, and this this shift of power, and the chess game going on, the political and social disruption. By the we get to the weekend, there's going to be so much stuff that's up in the air. And when this card comes up, it urges us to let go of the urgency to need to know. There are certain things that still have to play themselves out, and not to push or force, the need to know or an outcome, kind of a thing. Okay, it's there are just things that need to get revealed over time. There are some events that there's probably still more information that needs to come up, events that still have yet to come to pass. So, the outcome is still not conclusive, kind of thing. And there's still balls up in the air, literally. Okay, there are still, it's whatever happens over the next few days or over the course of this week with what gets discovered is just going to throw a bunch of balls up in the air, and it's not clear where they're going to come down and land, because there are still things that have yet to come to pass. There still are elements that are unknown, and may at this time still be unknowable. But anyways, it requires a great deal of trust and faith. We are, as a nation, going to get through this time, just like we've gotten through crises and political crises and other crises where the world and its people have felt very threatened. Where I still remember the Cold War, where any day it seemed like we all could be under nuclear attack, and that would there was that kind of crises back then. So it's kind of a similar, and we're going through another cycle of it. Okay, so those are the messages that come up for this week. So when you see a lot of that going on, of course we all want to keep ourselves informed and up to date, but part of this up in the air card urges us to not, to take a step back. This couple in the picture is kind of, watching the balloon. They're not trying to bring it down. They're not getting themselves all stressed out and trying to do something with it. They're just kind of observing. And, that's kind of what they're urging us to do with that, is take a step back, watch what's going on, stay informed about it, but don't get too caught up in it. Don't get yourself all caught up. And watching whatever drama's unfolding 24/7 kind of thing. So anyways, for ourselves personally, it's a week of compassion, and we may need to extend that compassion to people in the world and what's going on in the world, and the people who've been victims of different things, which is why Zadkiel is showing up with this compassion. Okay. So anyways, those are our messages that I get. I hope you have a lovely week. I look forward to speaking with you again soon. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe and place any comments below. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care, everyone.